You know how sometimes you really want to get the full story on something, like properly understand it, but wading through tons of info just feels exhausting?
Yeah, totally. Information overload is real.
Exactly. So consider this your curated path. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something quite specific: the Miss Océano Venezuela pageant system.
Okay, now, pageants. They can bring certain images to mind,
They
right?
definitely can. And look, we get that. But what we've found here, looking into this particular one, seems to go, well, quite a bit deeper. We've got some really interesting stuff from the person actually running it.
Right. You brought us this interview from World Class Beauty Queens magazine with Emmanuel Pérez Niño, is the owner and director, and also some bits from the Behind the Crown podcast featuring him.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't just, standard PR answers. They feel like a genuine look inside the thinking behind this pageant, the values, and what really drives the founder.
Precisely. So, our mission today really is simple. Pull out the most interesting, the most insightful bits from what Emmanuel shared. We want to get a handle on what Miss Oceano Venezuela is actually about, what his vision is, and, what makes it stand out.
Made sense.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then. How did Miss Oceano Venezuela actually get started?
Okay, so the pageant itself was officially set up in 2018.
2018, got it.
But the idea, the inspiration, Manuel says that goes way, way back. He talks about growing up totally surrounded by Venezuela's big national pageants. It's like a huge part of the culture there, apparently.
Right, I've heard that.
And a big early influence was his grandmother, Angela. She was the one pushing him, encouraging him to get involved in organizing events locally. His own hands-on experience in this world started way back in 2007.
Wow, 2007.
Yeah, so that gives him, what, like 18 years of working in the field before he even launched Miss Oceano?
18 years. Okay, so this wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment thing. That's serious groundwork.
Definitely not.
And you mentioned the family connection with his grandmother. He also brought up his father, Henry Perez, playing a big role.
Absolutely. The actual founding story, the way Emmanuel tells it, sounds really personal. It apparently happened over coffee in Caracas with his dad, Henry.
Uh-huh.
And his dad basically said, go for it, follow this passion. And that conversation, that was the catalyst. That led directly to setting up Miss Oceana Venezuela.
Just like that, over coffee.
Seems so.
Yeah.
And their initial vision was, I thought, pretty interesting. They wanted to showcase Venezuelan women not just as beautiful, but as like modern executive types,
Yeah.
highlighting their talent as, I think he called it export quality.
Export quality. Huh. That definitely puts a different spin on it, doesn't it? Away from just the superficial.
It really does.
So, okay, focusing on these modern executive women,
Hmm.
what's the core purpose then? What's the why behind Miss Oceano Venezuela? What are they trying to achieve?
Well, the main goal is to find a woman who fits that description. Modern, executive,
Mm.
a leader, but, and this is crucial, someone who's also got a social project, a project focused on leadership.
Social project, okay.
Yeah, so the winner isn't just, wearing a crown. She's meant to be an ambassador for real causes. Specifically, she becomes an ambassador for water resource management and care.
Water resources.
Yes, through an organization called Fundamar. Emmanuel actually calls Fundamar a source of life, which, in Venezuela, where water access can be a major issue, that really grounds the pageant in something critical.
Wow, okay. That's a very direct connection. Miss Oceano focused on water through Fundamar, so it really is trying to link beauty with a very tangible, vital purpose.
Exactly. Beauty with purpose, focus on something essential. And it's not just the social project. Emmanuel really stresses how important strong public speaking skills are for the winner.
Makes sense for ambassadorial roles.
Right, for the distinguished events she'd attend. And even their slogan says something. The ocean reflects the beauty of natural women. It points towards valuing authenticity.
Hmm. Natural women. Okay, so the mission is becoming clearer. Let's zoom in a bit on the man himself, Emmanuel Pérez Niño. He sounds like quite a character. What's his story?
Well, he's originally from San Cristobal, which is in the Venezuelan Andes.
Okay.
He talks about his core values being things like commitment, loyalty, family, seems very grounded. He also mentions a real love for animals and the elderly, which gives you a sense of his personality.
Uh-huh.
But his background, educationally speaking, is pretty striking. He graduated cum laude in education,
Impressive.
and he's apparently finishing up a law degree now. But on top of that, he holds diplomas in archaeology, broadcasting protocol, ceremonial studies, and he's won awards for his work in education, too.
Whoa, okay, that's eclectic. Education, law, archaeology, broadcasting.
It's a real mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Suggests someone with very broad interests and, like you said earlier, a real passion for teaching.
Yeah, he mentioned that passion for teaching.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
He spends a lot of time coaching the beauty queens runway, public speaking, etiquette, all that. But it's broader than pageants. He also runs professional development workshops for young people and for seniors.
So it's about empowerment generally, not just pageant contestants.
Seems that way. It really reinforces that educational drive he has.
And his own pageant journey started as a director? Or was he on the stage himself first?
No, he was definitely on the stage first. He was involved in fashion events. He hosted contests.
Hmm.
He actually won Mr. Petit Tropico back in 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he apparently picked up the Mr. Etiquette title there, too. He also did some modeling, hosted some pretty big beauty of himself. It was when he moved to Caracas that he really shifted gears from being a participant to being an organizer.
Okay, so he has that lived experience from both sides.
Exactly. And he's very open about crediting people who influenced him. His grandmother, Angela, of course, his mother, Beatrice Niño, mentors, friends. He mentions a professor, Temístocles Salazar, who told him something powerful. A man is a possibility.
A man is a possibility. That's
Yeah.
quite profound.
Isn't it? It clearly stuck with him. And importantly, he really emphasizes the current partnership with his father, Henry. It's still very much a joint effort, building on that initial coffee shop conversation.
Right, so you can really see the threads connecting the family influence, the deep cultural roots in pageantry, his diverse education, his own experience. It all seems to feed into this pageant-specific focus.
It really paints a picture of how it all came together.
So, given all that background, what really makes Ms. Océano Venezuela different, if you had to boil it down? What are the unique selling points, so to speak?
I think there are a few key things. First, that very clear humanistic vision and the direct link to Fundamar and water conservation. It's not just a nice to have, it's central.
Right, the social project aspect.
Exactly. And it's serious. There's a real focus on finding a leader with a concrete social project about water resources. In fact, it's a requirement for the regional candidates even before they get to the national level. They have to come up with plans for conservation, management, education, things with real medium to long-term impact potential.
That's a high bar. It really forces them to engage deeply with the issue, doesn't it? Way beyond just talking points.
Absolutely. It definitely challenges the old stereotypes. Then there's the preparation they go through. It's intense, a minimum of 3 months.
3 months? Wow.
Yeah, intensive classes. Covers the expected stuff like runway and makeup, sure, but also general culture, etiquette, protocol, even English language skills.
A really comprehensive development.
Very. And the judging reflects that. They're looking beyond just looks. They evaluate values, ethics, the quality and viability of those social projects, and actual leadership skills. Emmanuel even mentioned part of the process is helping contestants face and overcome their own fears and insecurities.
So it's almost like a personal development program wrapped inside a pageant.
That's a good way to put it. It seems to be as much about building the person as crowning a winner.
Interesting. What else stands out?
Well, there's a cultural dimension too. Miss Océano Venezuela makes a point of promoting diversity, engaging with different communities in Venezuela. Japanese, Arab, Latin communities are mentioned.
Okay.
They also do educational outreach across the country. And kind of cleverly, they use the platform for tourism promotion. Like the current Mrs. Océano, Eduardo Gomez, is actively promoting the beaches in Anzoátegui State.
That's smart. Linking the pageant to broader national goals like tourism and cultural exchange.
Yeah, it shows a strategic approach.
Okay, so it sounds like it's making waves, pardon the pun, within Venezuela. Has it gained any traction internationally, any global recognition?
Yes, it definitely has. Miss Océano Venezuela sends its winners and representatives to several well-known international pageants.
Oh, which ones?
They've had success at Miss Asia Pacific International. Mariane Chacon was third runner-up in 2019, and Paula Sanchez made the top 20 just this year, 2024.
Okay, solid results.
And in Miss America Latina, they actually won the title in 2021 with U.S. Danny Navarro, and then got first runner-up in 2022 with Ashley Echeverria.
Winning and placing high, that's significant.
Very. And maybe the biggest highlight recently was in 2023. Wonder Casanova won Mrs. Heritage International, which was held in Thailand.
Mrs. Heritage International, wow.
And get this, at that same event in Thailand, Emmanuel himself was awarded Best Director.
No kidding, best director on an international stage.
Yep. That kind of recognition really speaks to the level they're operating at, the quality of the preparation, and the impact they're making internationally.
That's huge. It validates the whole system, doesn't it? Where do they actually hold the national competitions in Venezuela?
Emmanuel mentioned they've been held in Caracas, using some pretty prominent venues, well-known hotels, even the Egyptian embassy in Venezuela at one point.
The Egyptian embassy, that's different.
Yeah. And he also stressed that every year the competition gets tougher, the judging gets more rigorous, and that social project requirement just becomes more and more central.
So they're constantly pushing the standard higher,
Yeah.
not just resting on their laurels.
It seems like it. It really points to that drive, that commitment from Emmanuel to keep evolving and strengthening the pageant's mission.
Okay, wow. We've definitely covered a lot of ground here. The origins, the why, the person behind it, what makes it unique, the international success.
Hmm.
If we were to try and pull this all together, what are the main takeaways? What are the big insights about Miss Océano Venezuela from these sources?
I think the most striking thing is that blend. The blend of, yes, beauty, but with real, tangible purpose. It's not just paying lip service. There's this deep focus on leadership, on social impact through that Fundamar connection and the water issue. And you really get a sense of Emmanuel Pérez Niño's personal drive and values being baked into the whole thing. His story, his dedication, it makes it feel like much more than just another pageant. It really comes across as a platform designed to build women leaders who are actively tackling a critical issue.
That sums it up really well. It definitely pushes back against simple definitions of what a pageant is, or maybe what it can be.
For sure.
So thinking about Emmanuel's journey and these goals of Miss Océano Venezuela, what does this suggest about how platforms like this might be changing, or the impact they could have more broadly? I mean, could the kind of passion and vision we see here, could that inspire similar things in totally different fields or maybe in other countries? It definitely leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Gives you a different lens.
It straight, but the path I chose led me to this twisted state. Every step I take, the shadows start to sway. I'm lost inside the maze, can't seem to find my way. Caught up in the spiral, spinning round and round. Every turn I make, I'm falling to the ground. A tangled web of thoughts, I can't seem to unwind. This twisted world I'm in is messing with my mind. Twisted like the vines that grow around my heart, tearing me apart, leaving every scar. I'm twisted in the night, wrapped up in the dark, trying to break free, but I don't know where to start. Twisted, oh, I'm twisted. The mirror shows a face I barely recognize, a stranger looking back with haunted hollow eyes. The truth is twisted up, I can't tell what is real. Lost inside a dream that I can't help but feel. Caught up in the spiral, spinning round and round. Every turn I make, I'm falling to the ground. A tangled web of thoughts, I can't seem to unwind. This twisted world I'm in is messing with my mind. Twisted like the vines that grow around my heart, tearing me apart, leaving every scar. I'm twisted in the night, wrapped up in the dark, trying to break free, but I don't know where to start. Twisted, oh, I'm twisted. I reach out for the light, but it's too far away. The more I try to fight, the more I seem to stray. Caught in the confusion, I'm tangled in this fate, but somewhere in the madness, I'll find my way to break. Twisted, oh, I'm twisted. Twisted like the vines that grow around my heart, tearing me apart, leaving every scar. I'm twisted in the night, wrapped up in the dark, trying to break free, but I don't know